Sailor Moon.
Hey gorgeous, welcome back to our channel. I'm Chris.
I'm Drew.
And we're the couple that does makeup together. Today we have an exciting video planned. We're going to be doing a makeup palette reveal that took only one try. So, if you want to see all of the makeup that we've collected over the years, keep on watching.
Alright, so we're going to start with our face palette. So anything that has highlighters or blushes, contour in that arena. The first palette we're going to talk about is the newest one to the collection and also one of the most probably like controversial brands at the moment in terms of cruelty-free status. And it's the Wet n Wild Pac-Man blush palette deal.
It's so pretty. But yes.
With this brand, people are on the fence with them right now. We've come to the conclusion that we think of them as cruelty-free. In my eyes, they've kind of remedied the situation the best they can, you know. There are plenty of videos on YouTube if you want to look up the current status and everything, but we feel that they've kind of proved themselves, and so we still consider them a cruelty-free brand.
And I also got something as from part of the collection. A little powder brush.
So cute.
Waka. It's absolutely adorable.
So cute. I was gonna say this is gonna be kind of just showing you guys our collection. We're not gonna linger too long because we would be here for a while. Also, grab a snack because we don't know how long it's gonna be anyways. So grab something, girl. Go grab a glass of wine if you can drink.
You deserve a snack because you are a snack.
Ooh, yes, honey.
So the next palette is from Morphe. I think Drew bought this in California when we went to Morphe store for the first time because there wasn't one where we live, and it's a blush palette. Absolutely like amazing colors. I love it a lot. Very diverse colors.
And up next we have an e.l.f. cream contour palette. Very self-explanatory. Has several different shades for a few different skin tones in there.
And then the next one, Flower Beauty, and it's a highlighter palette. But you can also see that the packaging is real holographic. Yes, Christine, it's real hollow.
Up next, we have a BH Cosmetics Contour Pro Palette. It's got a nice wide range of shades in there for a bunch of different skin tones.
Speaking of snacks, I'm a little hungry. So I got a little, this is like a bronze and glow. It's a powder bronzer and highlighter duo from Makeup Revolution. Got a bronzer on this side, a highlight on that side. And I love the little chocolate theme.
Up next is a blush, just called a blush palette, but I've always thought it was interesting that there are some very shimmery shades up at the top here that I would consider more highlighter colors, these two. But it's a very nice palette. It has mattes on the bottom, and then all kind of shimmery blushes on the top. This is one of my first blush items I bought. I don't really use this guy anymore, but it's in the archive, girl, in the collection.
Also from the band Makeup Revolution, it's a, Pro HD Amplified Face Palette. Brighter Than My Future. It's got 8 highlighters in it.
Up next, we have the Jeffree Star Cosmetics 24 Karat Skin Frost. It's the gold edition. Palette's very, very stunning.
Oof.
Truly, I can only use the one shade in here. It's this one at the top. But I honestly just wanted this palette for just a souvenir. We went down to San Francisco before we had a Morphe here in where we live. And so I bought this kind of to commemorate the trip.
And then by the brand Juvia's Place, which I love Juvia's Place. We have the Saharan Blush Volume 2, which I've talked about before. Beautiful blush colors. You got matte and shimmery blushes in there.
Next up is honestly one of my first highlighting palettes, and one I eyed for so long, and Chris ended up getting it for me for my birthday. This was like 2 years ago. It's the Moonchild Glow Kit by Anastasia. I'm very much into astronomy and space, planets. So when I saw this, I was immediately in love with it. I feel like they went out of stock for a very long time, and I didn't even thought that they made them anymore. And then Chris got it for me, and I'm like, oh my god.
I know, I saw it, and I was like, oh,
I can't believe it.
Snatch it up. I don't think I was planning on getting it for you, because it wasn't, like, in stock anymore. But then I saw it, and I was like, nope, getting it. He's wanted it for so
Stunning,
long.
honey. She's one of the most holographic. She's hard to see.
Mm-hmm. And the next one is another ABH Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. Another glow kit. This one is in the sugar glow kit.
Mm-hmm.
So you got 4 different removable pans. I believe that Gumdrop is not in there. No, Butterscotch is not. It's actually in a
the
palette
3
out.
in there are the ones I use, and I gave Chris Butterscotch because that one doesn't quite work for me.
Mm-hmm.
This next one here is probably my favorite face palette that we have. It's the Ambient Lighting Edit Volume 4. It's this guy. It's got the finishing powders up at the top here, and also blushes and bronzers and a highlighter.
And then this next one, ooh, this one's a bougie brand. Natasha Denona. This is the Diamond and Blush. And this one is, this palette is the Danya palette, which is for lighter skin tone. I believe they have 2. I can't remember what the other one is called. And then now we're going to move into eyeshadow palettes. Honey.
Okay, up first we have a glitter palette from Model's Own called the Glitter Mix palette. This is Chris's. I have never used this before.
Mm-hmm. It's really,
very,
really good,
very,
though.
very vibrant, like color glitters.
Oof. I think these 2 I'm just going to show together. But this is Makeup Revolution. We have Death by Chocolate up on the top, Golden Bar on the bottom, and they're just 2 Makeup Revolution palettes. I was loving this line for the longest time. I love the chocolate on the top.
This next palette here is sentimental because it was the very first eyeshadow palette that I ever bought. It was before I actually even really wore makeup, because I'm very much into astronomy. And when I saw this palette, I'm like, oh my god, like space is connected with makeup, I have to get it. But it's the BH Cosmetics Galaxy Chic palette. It's all baked eyeshadows.
Such nostalgia in that palette.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then this next palette I've wanted for a long time, but I ironically haven't used it very much. Also by BH Cosmetics is the Take Me to Brazil palette. And it is 35 color pressed pigments, so it's very colorful.
Alright, up next is the Desert Oasis from BH Cosmetics. Another one I had been eyeing for a very long time, and Chris got for me. This thing was very, very hard to find in stores, and now it's everywhere.
Now it's everywhere, yeah.
Now every Ulta you go to, you see this guy.
This palette is actually from the brand Coastal Scents. Drew curated it for me. So this is the color story he came up with for me, which, ooh, those colors are picking up pretty well.
The middle one is that ABH highlighter from the Glow Kit.
So I'm very much like a lover of color. I love purples, blues, or some greens. That like that olive and that like plum together. Ooh.
Right, this is the Ace Beauty, or Beauty, however you want to say it. Ace Beauty, honey. It's the Paradise Fallen palette.
Oof.
And I mean, this is another one I was obsessing over for the longest time.
I'm gonna show this one. That's because I bought it. I bought this one, I think, in California. And this is the Magic Mini by Juvia's Place. So I love the brand, like, aesthetic. I love it. And the colors, oof.
This is the Zulu by Juvia's Place. One I just surprised Chris with. I didn't buy him. It wasn't for any reason.
And then the next palette is a Morphe palette. This one is the 25B Bronzed Mocha. Cool. And so it's just a very like cool, like toned, brown eyeshadow palette. I honestly bought this on a whim, to be completely honest with you. I haven't used it in quite a while, but if you are a neutral eyeshadow lover and you love cool toned shadows, especially browns and like, kind of hints of like purple, yellows, this would be really, really good for you.
Up next, I have probably my most used palette. It's the Jaclyn Hill Morphe Collab palette. An iconic palette at this point.
Oh, yes.
I feel like everyone has her. And to quote Pop Lux, this is about the products, not the people behind them. And that's all I'm going to say.
Yep. And then I think second to the last Morphe product, we have the 3502 Second Nature palette. So, Very, these are like warmer tones, reds, oranges. It's a pretty palette, you know. This is a good palette if, you know, you're just starting out in makeup and you want a really good neutral palette with some vibrant reds, some good shimmers. Really good palette. I don't use this as much just because I've kind of early in my makeup loving. I love like neutral eyeshadows, and now I've moved to like full color. So I don't use this as much, but it's still really good.
And speaking of color,
Yeah.
Morphe 25L. It's a good time to plug our own video. We just use this guy to recreate some gay icons. I'll have a little link right here, pop up. Go check that out after you view this video, honey.
Next thing we're going to talk about, I think it's the only Huda Beauty product that we have, but it's the Huda Beauty. This is part of the Obsessions collection. This is the Sapphire, and oh, I love this color story. It's so tiny.
Alright, this guy is the Anastasia Prism Palette. I actually bought this for Chris because he finished his first or second semester in school, and I bought him a little gift at Sephora. This is her. I really love the packaging of this one. That gold and black with that prism.
It really
gives
cool.
me M Cosmetics vibes.
Oh, yes. I think this palette, it's the Urban Decay
Born to Run
palette. God, I kept wanting to say Urban Decay all nighter. The formula is not like the greatest, but it's still pretty good. I love the pictures on the front and the back. It's all seamless.
Miss Pat McGrath.
Ooh.
We talked about her in our Makeup Essentials video, our first video, but
love the packaging, love the brand owner, love everything. Alright, and then getting into it's all good, but we're getting into the exciting
kind of
stuff.
some spicy territory.
Yeah, spicy indeed too. Okay, so this is Jeffree Star Cosmetics. This is the Androgyny palette. This was his second palette. His first palette was Beauty Killer. So really large pans. Beautiful color story. I feel like this is not it's
his version of a neutral palette. Is the way he says it.
Yeah.
All right, next palette we have from Jeffree Star is the Thirsty palette. It's a very it's his summer palette from last year. Speaking of summer palettes, the Jawbreaker is on the way. Gonna do a video if it ever comes.
Oof.
I'm not salty. I just want my palette.
I know, same. And then another Jeffree Star Cosmetics.
Elusive. She was elusive.
Very elusive, if you can guess. This is the Blood Sugar.
Sound effects.
There you go. Absolutely gorgeous. Drew got this for me for Christmas, and I was not expecting it at all. And my jaw dropped. I was so excited to work with it. I know a lot of people aren't really a fan of like the class, the bulkiness of it. I, however, love that. I really do. It's slim enough and it's big enough, and the colors are wide enough that I can do, enough looks with it to just bring this one palette, and it's gorgeous. Ooh, same faux leather feel. Love that. This is the Blue Blood palette. Yes, this one does not have a sleeve. It actually just came just in the box, and it has like that raised, we've all seen it before, one clasp. And actually, this is what I used for my eyeshadow look today.
All right, we're ending it with controversy. Henny. We're talking about these people back to back.
Oof, we're gonna get
controversial person.
Oh, wait,
so this palette I've never gotten rid of, never decluttered it because it means a lot. Chris got it for me, and this was the first eyeshadow palette ever that I obsessed over. When I first saw the color story and the packaging, I was like, I must have that palette. And it is the Saint and Sinner palette by Kat Von D. It's just a mimic stained glass doors of a church. I don't care what you have to say about her. This palette is still beautiful to this day. I feel like this honestly was her last great palette. I'm not saying that to be shady. I'm just saying this was the last palette I feel like she put a bunch of effort into. Gorgeous. All the other ones since have not come close to this.
Yeah, was it the fetish collection? We weren't.
I was so looking forward to that one,
Mhm.
and then all the controversy happened, and then the palette came out, and it was not very well reviewed, and the colors were very muddled and muted, and was not what I was expecting at all. So,
Well, thank you for hanging on out with us and seeing our makeup palette collection.
we know it pales in comparison to others.
Oh,
but
yes. But we definitely want more. We're looking forward to grabbing some more. There's so many that we want right now.
there are so many.
But we're trying our best.
I feel like our collection is so small because we really do, now that we're more experienced in makeup, the color story really has to grab us. I'm just not going to pick up something because I think it looks pretty.
Yeah.
I really have to really want it.
Yeah. So yes, just like Drew said, we got to make sure that the palettes that we get are color stores that really speak to us. Right now, I think that for me is that I think I want it, but that ColourPop, the yellow one, the all yellow, I think I want that.
Girl, there are like 4 palettes I want.
I
want
know.
the Sunrise palette from Natasha
Denona.
Denona, Jawbreaker, which I already purchased, the Goddess palette from Rachel Leary, I think her name is. I'm not familiar with her, but her all-in-one like palette, I love that palette. There's so many that I want right now.
I also want the Ace Beauty, the Oceanic. Want that. But anyway, thank you for hanging out and checking out our makeup palettes. We're definitely going to do more collections in the future.
Yes.
You know, let us know in the comments if there's something specific that you want to see.
Lipsticks, we're going to do highlighter, blushes, all that fun stuff.
Can't
The
wait for the
lipstick one,
highlighters.
that'll be a doozy. We have a lot of lipsticks.
Oh yeah,
A lot.
lipsticks, lip gloss, all that
all
stuff.
the lippies, girl.
And we post videos every Monday at 10 a.m. PST. So if you like this video, come on back and hang on out next week Monday. And if you did like the video, you know, do the things like subscribe,
Yes.
turn on the bell, all the good stuff. So we will see you on next week Monday's video. Bye.
Bye.